Hey everybody, this is Craig from 9 Volt Games, and today we're going to talk about this. And how nostalgia is a double-edged bitch. I'm trying to swear within the first 60 seconds of every video because YouTube apparently really doesn't like that. But, so anyways, if you got one of these, you can make what's called a PsuedoSaturn. It's not new, it's been around for a year, 2 years? It's been around since 2019 as far as I know. But I've had saves on here and I didn't want to lose them. I haven't touched my Saturn in about a year and a half because the big ass TV I bought and then I upgraded all my other TVs to smart TVs. They don't have the RCA inputs. These. So I haven't been able to do it. And I've grown detached from these saves. What you have to do is you have to flash this cart and it cannot be used as memory card anymore. You can use Action Replay, any of these, the X4s, any of that shit. You buy them pretty cheap. Not so much after this came out. Anyways, you flash the cart, you put it in, and you now have a modified console without having to do any soldering or adding chips or any of that shit. Pull it out, your Sega Saturn is just as it was originally. You can buy these carts, not these, the already pre-made carts for people who don't want to open your Saturn because you do still have to open your Saturn in order to do this. I think I've seen them for around $70, $80. Do it yourself. It's easy. Like, I can understand the apprehension of you don't want to crack this bad boy open. However, what you need to do to it, you're not really going to break. And guess what? You ain't got a warranty on this anymore. Sega doesn't make hardware. So, all you do is open it up, and then where the door closes, you basically tape off where it has a sensor to make sure the door's open, and you have to wait for this is the bitch of it, a very specific set of noises and lights from the Saturn. Take off an original game, switch it back. These people on YouTube were doing this really complicated method where you would like put in the burnt disc, let it get to the boot, switch it out for a normal disc, let it get to the boot, switch or reset, switch it out. No, I did this in like 2 seconds. You take a normal game, wait till the access light flashes 3 times right before it hits the Sega screen, switch over to your disc, flash your cart. Very simple. That's way too complicated for what people were doing. Anyways, I did it. It took me like 3 tries that I missed it, but once I got the timing, it was... You basically have to have an understanding of how discs are read in the console, but it's so easy. Like, don't do these really complicated 5-minute videos. You don't need it. Just wait till it spins. 3 lights, and it goes... The ribbon. Anyways, you gotta flash it. You need to have it open because you might need to tilt or move the card a little bit. This card needs to be in a fucking sweet spot. But anyways, so after 2 tries, I did it. Right? So now, all the Sega Saturn games that I could possibly want. I spent an entire afternoon downloading games. I filled up one of those, it's sitting over there, I should have brought it over here. One of them old, like, pop-out disc trays. Just filled them with games that I had in my childhood because I do have, 15 Saturn games. Not all bangers, but some of them are real, expensive, rare ones. And then there's ones I'm not going to buy. Lunacy, which was a survival horror game for the Sega Saturn, and it's like $300. I'm not spending $300 on a game that I actually didn't play when I was a kid, and it might be terrible. The first game I downloaded. I'm glad I didn't spend $300 on that shit. And then I went back and grabbed a bunch of games like Dragon Force and Panzer Dragoon and stuff I had when I was younger that I don't have anymore, and I'm not spending an arm and a leg to buy these things. Here's the kicker of it. So, I have 15 games that I enjoy, 10 of them. And then I downloaded, 25 to 30 more. And I was wrong about one, by the way. Don't mind my shitty penmanship, but my last video I was like, we didn't get a Shinobi on Sega Saturn. Yeah, we did. And at first, when I started playing it, it was terrible, but it's actually pretty good. I'm going to do a video. This whole week's going to be videos of Sega Saturn games, but I just wanted to do the opener of this PsuedoSaturn and what nostalgia can do if you bring it back full force. Like I said, I downloaded 25 to 30 games. I tested each one as they came out of the burning process. I had my entire kitchen. These counters were just all hardware. Computers, TVs, Sega Saturn, and I had like a testing assembly line. My sons were testing the games as they were coming out. And I was just like, man, like I was trying to tell my kids, like, these games are so good when I was a kid. And, my older one's just like, they don't look good. And, but after they went to bed, I sat down. I didn't even move everything. I just sat down in my kitchen and I started to play the ones that I remembered. And they weren't as good as I remembered them being. Like, obviously, your Dragon Forces, your Panzer Dragoon Saga, Shining Force, all that stuff, or Shining in the Darkness, all this stuff's great, but they're RPGs, and I'm not gonna funnel my time into Sega Saturn RPGs. Now, the one caveat that's like really good to this PsuedoSaturn Flash in the Cart is that it automatically adds a Game Shark, which I wouldn't suggest normally on playing an RPG, but if it's something that you already played when you were a kid, like I've already played Albert Odyssey, and it's really hard to go back and play a turn-based RPG when I have very limited time. So if I'm playing something for the story because I like the story of that game and I've already beaten it, slide that XP up, make those battles go faster. But I really don't want to spend my time playing a 40-hour RPG on a Sega Saturn anymore. I kind of wish I just kept the memories the way they were because they were great. And what happens is with emulation, you go back and play some of the games that you remember being so fucking amazing when you were a kid. And some of them I don't even know how I beat. They're either extremely difficult, I've lost my edge because, whatever. The same thing happened when I went back and bought NES games. And I was like, how the fuck did I get so far in Metal Gear when I was a kid on NES? When I'd fucking get frustrated after 15 minutes and I'm done. Same shit happened with the Sega Saturn. Not necessarily the games were hard, but some of them were unplayable. Like Sonic R. I tried to go back and play Sonic R. I was like, what the fuck? Obviously, it's not all bad. There's some gems in there. The fighting game ones, though, are hard to go back to. If it's not a 2D fighter, very hard to go back to. Last Bronx was an amazing game when it came out. Not easy to go back to anymore. Any of the old Virtual Fighters, not easy to go back to anymore, especially when you have an updated version like I platinumed it on PS3. Like, why would I go back and play the Saturn version, just so I could use the old controller? No. So it was kind of difficult to go back to some of them. Some of them are great, and those are the games I'm going to do videos for this week. And some of the videos I'm going to do are games that I actually have the retail version of anyways, so I guess I didn't really need to do that. What I needed was this. Whoop. So this, obviously, I showed this right in the beginning of the video. This does your AV, your RCA cables to HDMI, but it also upscales. I had to break the slide off of this. Power cord wouldn't fit. It upscales to 720p or 1080p. I flip it over to 1080p. It doesn't upscale to make it look better. It definitely smooths it out, and it definitely makes it more playable on a 4K TV. Because I did have a 4K TV, and I did this RF adapter, and then I did one with S-Video. It didn't turn out that great. But having this, it smooths it out just a little bit. It makes it so the sprites actually pop. Titles, all that stuff comes out super smooth, and then you get into the game and it's got a layer of fuzz over it, but you know what? I don't have a CRT TV available to play, so this is the best option. The good part about this is initially I didn't just buy this to play on my TV, I bought it to play so that I could stream some of these games because I need to have the HDMI port. So here's my takeaway. I don't think there's anything wrong with emulation if you're stealing. It's stealing. If you're taking one or two games from the past that you wanted to play, it's not attainable because of the amount of money. Like, I downloaded Lunacy. Glad I downloaded it. I'm going to play it, but if I had bought that shit for $300, I would have been utterly pissed. This would have been a rant video. Don't go ahead and download the entire backlog because once you start to get so much shit for free, you're not going to appreciate it. That's it. That's about it. There is too much of there is a such thing of too much of a good thing, and this one was so much that it actually backfired on me and kind of skewed how great I remembered the Saturn being, because in my opinion, in this era of consoles, to me it went PlayStation, Saturn, and 64 as my level of enjoyment, not necessarily based on any other fact except my own opinions, right? But in my opinion, it was PlayStation was number 1 and Saturn was number 2 because there was a lot of titles on there that were fucking great and they were just overshadowed by the PlayStation and the N64. Hey! Weird noises. But hey! She's so annoying. But yeah, anyways, so I'm at the end of the video. Can you be quiet? That works. She only waits long on camera to do that shit. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. I feel like, well, it's not feel like, it's a fact that the Sega Saturn got overshadowed by the PlayStation and the N64 in this generation. And the Saturn was fucking dead by the time the N64 came out anyways. It's not those consoles' fault. It's Sega's fault for their weird botched launch. You can watch a million different videos on YouTube about it. Shush! Please be quiet. I just fed you. You fresh. But anyways, the rest of the week's going to be Sega Saturn games. And I'm going to be starting with Shinobi Legions because I said that game didn't exist and I was wrong. So I'm going to have to eat my words and do that video. But how would you like to see the video? Would you like me to green screen it? Or would you like me to sit in front of the TV and I will mirror the image? Stop it! I'm right here. Thank you guys for watching.